Lastly, you'll want to draw your story. What does drawing your story bring to your summary? You're here to provide a context. A context is the combination of a genre and a frame. How do you define a context? First, you target the emotion you want to provide. Then, you pick the corresponding genre. You frame your genre, and then you adjust your frame according to your 4 themes. Your themes will be displayed through characters, settings, and environments. How does it translate into a picture? You have 10 chapters and 10 images. Draw each chapter in a sure way to clarify them. Draw 1 picture per chapter. Use icons to represent the chapter's main idea, which will be your word. Which new development occurs in this chapter? Is it a crisis? Is there a new character? Is there a new environment? Generally, you want to say yes to those 3. Use images to summarize your 10 chapters. Place the images at each chapter's end, and use these 10 images to create a larger picture. What does this larger picture look like? If you can combine your 10 images, you'll obtain a composition. Now, how do you create it? First, decide on the atmosphere you want to convey. Then, pick the colors you will use and arrange them. Thirdly, select a focal point. Here, for example, you can remark this sphere of light in the middle of the picture, depicted in white, which is the only non-colored part of the picture. You can also remark a face in red in the top of the picture. These 2 parts are focal points. Why does it grab the attention of the public? Well, hopefully for the sphere of light, it can grab the attention of the public because it's white. It's the only non-colored part of the image, and it directly contrasts with the black font. It's also spherical. Sphere is not a form you can generally find in nature, so it creates a lot of dissonance graphically with the rest of the elements. Now, what are the other fundamental elements of the picture? You can remark that the picture uses 4 main colors: red, green, blue, and purple, which correspond all to different parts of the stories and represent all a different theme. So, what are these themes here? Where are they? And how are they represented? In the case of the green, for example, you can remark that green is used for the early buildings and also the roads, except for the last one, which is in purple. Purple is used for square buildings, large buildings, and the last stairs, which have their own meaning, which is the opposite of the first stairs. The purple and green are picked here because they are complementary colors. The purple here represents the opposite of the green, thematically. Are there any hidden elements in this image? No, there are no hidden elements, but you can try to make use of subtlety to hide certain details into your larger picture. It's not made here because it's an example, but you can remark that the elements of the picture have different size. For most of them, they have different size because of the perspective. If you can make use of perspective and elevation, your composition will look better. For example, in the top right corner, you have a character in red, which is a giant. You can guess that because the building next to this character is a normal sized building. So a human which has the same size of building might be quite tall. The other characters represented here are also in red. The face, the corpse in the bottom left, and the tentacles. Each part of the picture is organized to be clearly limited, and there's very little interconnectivity here in terms of themes, but there is a direct interconnectivity in terms of geography. Now, this one image is what you will end up when you combine your 10 sub-images. It's a fresco. It's supposed to be representing your whole story. You have been placing crucial elements in this composition. So, the composition in itself is complete as an image, but it doesn't represent every element of the story, only the crucial elements. These elements will allow the public to develop their perception of the story. You may have been using this fresco to foreshadow the story's end, which can be perceived as the face in the sky or the last purple building, depending on where you want to end the story. This story may also be used to foreshadow a sequel. You can now shield your story with it, and you can use it as a book cover, or even as a central image.